The Nigerian Senate has approved the Electricity Act Amendment Bill 2025 through second reading in a move to rescue the country's ailing power sector from looming collapse. This bill is designed to address persistent challenges in Nigeria's power sector and represent a crucial move towards comprehensive reform. Sponsored by Senator Enyinaya Abaribe, the amendment seeks to overhaul the 2023 Electricity Act by addressing regulatory gaps as some lawmakers propose capital punishment for vandals. During his presentation, Senator Abaribe highlighted that the amendment aims to reduce legal disputes and inconsistencies that have arisen since the enactment of the 2023 Electricity Act, which granted state control over electricity generation, transmission, and distribution.
The bill seeks to include provisions that will, 1, enhance policy and regulatory coordination between national and subnational governments to avoid legal disputes and inconsistencies. You will recall, Mr. President, that the Electricity Act 2023 now gives states, which are subnationals, the right to set up, distribute, transmit, and generate electricity. And we are already seeing within the Act several areas of disputes between states and the federal government. And these are what we want to cure. For example, in the Electricity Act, we have a provision, actually, which was unfortunately passed by us, that says that laws that are made by states actually supersede the Constitution. Because it says there that any law passed by a state with regard to electricity cannot be overruled or whatever, which, of course, the Constitution is very clear. Any federal legislation that conflicts with a state legislation, the federal legislature must take precedence. So we want to cure such anomalies and disputes within the Electricity Act.
Senators voiced strong support for the bill, emphasizing its urgency and the necessity for stronger penalties to combat infrastructural vandalism. They acknowledge that the bill will effectively tackle key issues in electricity generation and distribution.
Looking at his submission, the first objective of this bill, enhance policy and regulatory coordination between the national and the subnational government to avoid legal disputes and inconsistency. Mr. President, I quite agree with him, because now that we now have in place that bill, that act empowering the states to generate their own electricity, definitely there can be some issues which we believe maybe as a result of this amendment that can be corrected. But Mr. President, looking at what we currently have as structure in the electricity sector, you will quite agree with me that over the years, so many people have taken advantage of this particular sector and the federal government being the sole generation and distribution of power in Nigeria. As we speak, Mr. President, the indebtedness of the federal government to these contractors, so-called the GENCOs and the DISCOs, is running into billions and millions of dollars.
I will term it is revolutionary in nature, akin to the Petroleum Industry Act that this Parliament amended with a view to revolutionizing the industry. And this bill this amendment equally seeks to do that. One, against the backdrop of the fact that as a result of the amendment of the Constitution, bringing power from exclusive legislative list to the concurrent legislative list, states can now also legislate on matters concerning electricity. And this has brought conflict between laws that were enacted at the state level and laws that are existing at the national level. So essentially what this bill seeks to do is to also smoothen or bring it in conformity with the Constitution, the fact that laws made by the National Assembly are superior to laws that are made by the state houses of assembly. For example,
In his closing remark, Senate President Godswill Akpabio praised the Committee on Power for their diligent work, noting that the bill will respond to public concerns and is essential for Nigerians' industry advancement.
And members of the Committee on Power for this bill, and hope that by the time it goes through second reading, the issue or the issues that bother the Nigerian public will be addressed. Without electricity, there's no way we can have industrial growth in the country. And so everybody is looking forward to the transformation of this sector. So it's on that note that I commend distinguished Senator Baribe.
The amendment, which scaled second reading, has been referred to the Committee on Power to report back within 6 weeks. Godwin Sunday, reporting for G's TV News.